In this video, we are going to be doing what's called solving for a variable when we have a formula. So a formula is just an equation that states a rule for a relationship among quantities. So an example of this would be d equals r times t. This is the formula for distance, and it equals the rate times time. So rate being how fast you were going, time being how long you were doing that speed. So if you multiply those two things together, you get how far you went. So I'm not asking you to memorize that formula. This is just an example. So one of the things you need to notice is that this is the formula for distance because d is the variable that is isolated. You can rearrange this formula to isolate any of the variables by using inverse operations. So this is what we call solving for a variable. So for instance, if I wanted to solve for the rate, I would just divide both sides by t, and I would learn that rate equals distance over time. So let's look at some examples where we're given an equation and we're asked to solve for one of the variables. So here we have the area for a triangle, which is 1/2 base times height, where b is the base, h is the height, and we want to solve for h. So looking at this problem, we have a equals 1/2 base times height. So I'm trying to isolate the height in this example. So I'm trying to solve for h. So I'm trying to see what's being done to h. So this is going to be the same process as if we're treating h like it was x and we're just trying to solve for x. We have something being multiplied here, so we can get rid of this piece by doing some division. I'm going to take it one step at a time first. I'm going to start by getting rid of this 1/2. So this 1/2 is being multiplied to b and h. So since it's being multiplied, I could divide it on both sides, or what I can do is multiply by the reciprocal on both sides. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to multiply both sides by 2/1. So on the right side, the 1/2 and the 2/1 would cancel. And 2/1 times a just gives me 2a, and this equals b times h. So now, again, I'm trying to solve for this h, and I see something is being multiplied to it. So the inverse of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by this b. So the b's on the right side would cancel, leaving me with just h equals this 2a over b. And that's it. That we just solved for the variable of h. One of the nice things about solving for the variable is we typically have a lot of variables, so there's not going to be a lot of simplification going on. I can't say, oh, I know what 2 divided by b is, or oh, I know what a divided by b is. I don't know those things, so I'm keeping them as a variable. So this is indeed our final answer. So this is what h equals. So that means that if I wanted to know the height of a triangle, if I know the area and the base, I just have to do 2 times the area and divide that by the base, and that's going to give me the height of any triangle. Let's look at another example. So this is the formula for a person's typing speed. So it is S represents the words per minute, W is the number of words typed, E is the number of errors that were made, and M is how long it took you to type in minutes. And it is asking us to solve for E. So I'm trying to rearrange this formula, and I want to have a new formula where E is equal to whatever. So I want to know the formula for errors. So how many errors were made if I am given the other pieces of information. So we can do that. So we have S equals W minus 10E over M. So again, this is a fraction. And in my numerator, I see that I have a binomial. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in parentheses. So now I see that those parentheses are being divided by M. So I need to get rid of that division because what I'm trying to solve for is this E. So the opposite of division is multiplication. So I'm going to multiply both sides by that m. So on the right side, the m's are going to cancel, leaving me with w minus 10e. And on the right side, we just have m times s, which is just ms. So back to our problem. I now see that I have some addition happening, so I need to get rid of that addition. So the opposite of a positive w is a negative w. So I'm going to subtract w on both sides. So on the right side, those w's cancel, and ms minus w is just ms minus w. So the last thing I need to do is I need to get rid of that multiplication that's happening to e. So I need to divide both sides by that negative 10. And on the right side, that's going to cancel. So I get e equals the ms minus w over negative 10. Since that negative is in the denominator, we could pull that negative out and say negative ms minus w over 10. Notice how the negative is in the same line with this division bar. That's representing that this whole fraction is going to be negative. Another way we would need to do this is we would actually distribute this negative. So I would distribute this negative to my numerator. So doing that, I get a negative ms plus w over 10. So all of these mean the exact same thing. Typically, you don't leave a negative in the denominator of a fraction. You either pull it out for the entire fraction or you distribute it up in the numerator. So you need to try to start doing one of these two things, and this one is more accurate than the rest. So when you're looking at multiple choice answers, it's going to be that last one where they distribute the negative to the numerator. So you have a u-try, you have the formula for an object's final velocity, which is equal to I, the object's initial velocity, minus g times t, where g is the acceleration of gravity and t is time. So they want you to solve for I. So solve this for I, so pause the video. So on this problem, you would have had f plus gt equals I. So you need to treat that quantity of g times t like it's almost the number 10 or something like that. So it's a single number that's being subtracted from I. So the opposite of subtraction is we just added the gt to the other side.